Yo, 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 yo. What the fuck is everybody up? What's the fuck? The fuck is up with everybody, man? It's your man 3K the boss, man. AKA Mr. Two Hands Up. Bah, bah. You already know what it is, man. And good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, man. It's Sunday, man. So fuck it, man. Why not, man? It's Sunday, right? Might as well have a Reaper Gang Radio Sunday service, man. Church is officially in session, man. We got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it, man. I was fucking thrilled. I was thrilled. And mind you, I didn't get to catch fucking much yesterday because I was asleep. But all in all, through me smoking big blunts, passing out, just being a complete fat ass all fucking yesterday, I knew one thing was for certain. I knew them niggas was going to scrap last night. See, this is what it's supposed to look like. Like real rap. Real rap. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is when you got two guys, young, and then they prime, going smack the fuck at it. You got high volume, high intensity. You can hear the grit. Man, the shots that were taken, the shots that were thrown. Now, I'm going to be the first to say this. I know for a fact that his arm, his wrist, or hand, or a couple of things, quite possibly could be broken. Because I heard a pop. Like you could see it when they exchanged in the punch. You could see his shit buckle. Man. It was some grueling shit. Not whatever's going on with Maurice Hooker, but just the fight in general. That's what it looked like. That's what the fuck it's supposed to look like. So yeah, you gotta clap that shit up. Cause when it looked like that, that's boxing. That's boxing. This kid, now mind you, this kid only got 17 fights, all knockouts, ambitious as hell. But do you see what's going on though? I don't think people really see what's going on. You gotta peep the energy, man. You gotta peep the energy around it. And this is the shit niggas be talking about when they say, yo, if you just fight the fights, it's gonna come to you. It's going to come to you. All you have to do is fight the fights. And yo, this kid has fought what? Samuel Vargas, his last fight. Who else he fight? Orozco, Solomon, Mauricio Herrera. Like the learning curve is different. Like yo, man, I see a lot of shit in this kid, man. And it's always been there. But when you get to see certain fights, you get to validate it, right? You get to put that shit up and be like, yo, okay, all right, I know what we working with here. It's something real special going on here. But yo, peep the way people just wait around for him. Not his family. The way the fans crowd around the tunnel, the way people waiting around for them. Man, yo, the love is real. You want to know why the love is real? The love is real when you can't deny what's authentic, bro. It's raw, it's uncut, it's right there in front of you. The power is real, it's natural. He got ability. Now, of course, there are things that are gonna have to be tweaked, but as all fighters, you're always gonna have to tweak some shit. But that boy, yeah, man. And all of that shit that's going on at Golden Boy, how niggas like put all of this shit in Ryan Garcia, the type of energy niggas got in Ryan Garcia, you should have it in him. On my mama, the type of energy people got in Ryan Garcia, on my life, you should have it in this kid. For real. For real, for real. Because it's for real, for real. Like, ain't no dropping from 30, rank 34 and then fighting Luke Campbell. I just ran down who the last four people he fought. It ain't to be played with. His learning curve is different. Why niggas just fighting Romero, Dunnos, and shit like that? Nah, he's learning off Mauricio Herrera. He's learning off the Sammy Vargases of the world. He's learning off the Maurice Hookers of the world. Come on, man. That wasn't even that what yo. And it's a whole coming out party. Like, yo, he just beat the WBO, former WBO light welterweight champion of the world. Not only that, he just lost his title to Jose Ramirez. Then he goes out there meticulously, breaks this nigga down like your favorite professor, standing in front of a fucking board, looking at all types of equation, coming up with some brilliant shit, like your favorite painter in front of a blank canvas before they got together and drew up their ugly ass Mona Lisa and got paid and is legendary off what people believe to be some brilliant shit. It's dialed in, man. It's real. Like, yo, I like it, man. And I hope y'all motherfuckers like it too. I hope y'all like it too. Man, ambitions can never be ignored. I never tell a motherfucker to pump their brakes. Cause here over here, Reaper Gang Radio, I've never been the type of nigga to tell anybody to pump their brakes. Yo, if you feel like you want to go for what you go for, who am I to stop you? Because I'm not one of these type of people that's going to impede a person who's going to say, yo, I would like to fight this person or this person or this person. I'm not going to impede your progress. If you manage to bump into if you manage to hit a fucking wall along the way, for all of the greatness you done trailblazed in front of you, all of the great trails you're trying to leave behind already. I mean, what can anybody do other than respect it? So if a motherfucker wants to reach high, if he wants your Errol Spence, if he wants your Terrence Bud Crawford, if he wants your Dennis Yugas, oh yeah, for sure. Let him have all that shit. Let him have all of that shit. And now, ambitions are ambitions. But at the same time, look at what he's doing, look at where he's going, and truly ask yourself, how many other individuals is this kid going to be able to fight? And, if he wants to fluctuate in between 140 pounds and 147, but I mean, naturally 147 is where it's at. How many other individuals are you going to throw in his way at 147, and they're going to be that much more of a test than what he just fought last night? Now, like I would love to see Sean Porter. Ooh, Sean Porter versus Vergil Ortiz. That'll be a smoker. That'll definitely be a smoker. A Keith Thurman and a Vergil Ortiz will be a smoker. Man, Robert Garcia, like he really got something special over there, man. He got something special that he could work with. He's got something special that he can mold. Man, the boy is 22, man. It's a whole lot of you can do a whole lot of sculpting over there. You feel me? You can do a lot with that. A whole lot with that. I like it. I like it. I fucking love it. I ain't even looked down just yet, right? See you in the building. About to do just that. I just didn't want to lose my train of thought. Yeah, man. This is boxing. That's what it's supposed to look like, once again. And it looks damn good. Real shit. Let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going in 2021. Yo, it's new conversations to be had. I really think that we headed in a good direction. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I do think so. What do we have next, people? We got a lot. We got your Jose Ramirez and your Josh Taylor. Shit. We got your Dillian Whites and your Alexander Povekins. Shit. What else we got? Fuck. You got Billy Joe Sanders getting ready to get knocked out by Canelo. But we gonna watch it. This is boxing. Fuck out of here. Salute to everybody in the building. I'm gonna throw this motherfucking chat in here, man. Vergil Ortiz is special, man. He's special, man. We need more young niggas. Like, man, and there's so many people, right? It's so many people that I could think of that you could put in a Vergil Ortiz, Mighty Mo Hooker scenario, and you'll get that same type of action. But you'll never see that same type of action if you don't put the equal, you know what I'm saying? Like equal opposition, period. It's got to be a dog versus a dog, man. Dog shit, man. Real shit, man. Let's keep this shit going, man. I like the trend, though. I like the trend. I fucks with it. I fucks with it. Yo, like last night, bro, man. I think we all should like take something away from this shit and be proud as fight fans. Yo, that shit had every element of like some old school feel, right? Shout out to Mighty Mo Hooker and his fucking sound bites, bro. Shout out to that dude and his fucking sound bites, man. Like, if boxing didn't feel like some shit from the 90s last night, I don't know what did, bro. Even the women got it popping. Shout out to the women. It wasn't just, it was technique there. Technique. Shout out to Superbad Estrada. She's nice. She's nice. Get out the way, man. It's a movement brewing, bro. It's a movement brewing, and I'm liking it. We got all the ingredients for perfect boxing game gumbo. It's time to get busy. Man, if this is what 2020 is going to look like, 2021, if this is what this shit is going to look like, yo, I'm strapped in. I'm all the way strapped in. On gang. I am strapped in. George, salute. Sam Shaw, what's goody? Gerald Fields, salute. Miguel, what's popping? JD's boxing, what it do? Dan Campbell. Red, white, and do. Okay. Appreciate what you appreciate you with the super chat. George says, only came to give a like and leave, gotta go to bed. I could dig it. I could dig it. Motherfuckers got shit to do, man. Yeah. Salute, Carlos. You already know. Vergil, all the smoke, Ortiz Jr. All the smoke. Kid wants all the smoke. Whew. Hey, that's a hell of a statement right there, man. That's a hell of a statement right there. Said the kid reminds me of G-Man just a bit. Man, he's ferocious, man. He's ferocious. Like, yo, he punches with bad intentions, man. Shout out to Mo, man. Shout out to his fucking chin, man, because he took some shit. He got blasted. And like, yo, he had to fend off a lot. And that's a lot to think about when you deal with this kid too, man. Like, you got to deal with a lot of firepower and a lot of attack. And his coaches was telling him the right thing. Because if you give Vergil momentum, he's going to put you in a position to where he's going to stop you. You're going to have to put forth in the type of attack that Mo Hooker came with last night, but it's going to have a little bit more thud with it. You got to have a little bit more resistance. I, for one, always felt like the body type didn't match up to the type of aesthetics Vergil had mixed with the ability. It was just a little, it might have been just a little too much. It was too much. You could tell he broke him. He literally fucking broke him. And there's nothing wrong with that because he fought like a dog. I'm just saying, you're going to have to deal with a lot with this fucking kid. And you're going to have to be true to the science. That's how you gonna have to beat him. It's gonna have to be a hell of a boxer puncher, man. Like I saw what that shit put in Bud Crawford's eyes last night. That shit made Bud Crawford kind of hungry. He was out that joint like, I'll fuck boy up. That's what boxing need though. And it's those type of fucking fights that are going to bring us to that. You ain't going to get this bubblegum shit we've been recently seeing, and we're constantly trying to get a continuous like merry-go-round fucking full of constantly. Nah. We need that shit. If we want the game to blow up, yeah, and if we want fighters to really get on their high horse and really do their shit, like, yo, it's got to go down like that. So shout out to them. I take nothing away from Mo Hooker. I just feel like, yo, sometimes, my G, it's best just to let the crowd have it, my dude. I know it's kind of rough coming off of, you know, you got stopped by fucking Jose Ramirez. And the crazy thing is, both times he got stopped in his home fucking state. Last time, I believe the fight was in Dallas. This time it was in Grand Prairie. I don't know if that's out close to the Dallas area or whatever. I don't know. But I know he got stopped on both occasions in fucking Texas. So for Mighty Mo, I know that probably didn't look good. Changing coaches, you know what I mean? Like, man, it's like you don't want to be that guy, because for Mo Hooker, he wasn't in a position where he should be called somebody's gatekeeper. Let's not get that twisted. He shouldn't be that. It's a lot of talent at 147. I don't think he can win a belt there right now. I never put him there. All I'm saying is this, man. It just sucks that he probably wouldn't have took that highway. He probably wouldn't have fought Vergil if he wouldn't have took that loss to Jose, but he was in a position coming off a loss. So he had to do whatever he had to do, no matter how tough it might have been, no matter if he was going to have to be considered what other people see as a sacrificial lamb or whatever. He was going to have to do his shit. So unfortunately, it had to be Vergil. It had to be the young 22-year-old young gun, and he just happened to be ready. Your attitude just got beside yourself. Yo, shout out to the thumbnail. It's Sunday service. He flicking niggas off. He tried to fight the fans, y'all. Like, yo, let's not get this shit twisted. He tried to fight the fans. I'm not the only person that peeped that. I know this. He tried to fight the fans like, yo, this man was ready to pull a whole, like, yo, this shit was ready to turn into some, like, yo, some real live UFC, Conor McGregor versus Habib type shit, but Vergil was about to be over there taking pictures and doing interviews, and Mighty Mo Hooker was about to turn into the Pacers versus the goddamn Pistons and shit, running out there on some Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, Meta World Peace ass shit, just striking the fucking fans, man. Leaving this whole Meta World Peace jersey at home. Went full Ron Artest. Striking the shit out fans, bro. He was almost there. I couldn't believe it. Fuck. Come on, man. So, not only did you lose, you took 2 L's last night. That's 2 big cups of nasty in your home state. So it's one thing your fans can forgive you for scrapping. Your people can forgive you for losing. What they not gonna forgive you for is flicking them off and trying to fight them. And on top of that, the narratives that could be created from that shit, oh my God. Yo. I know Mo Hooker got a mighty, mighty big family, and y'all know that shit too. We know he don't need that shit. You gotta chill. You got to chill. The fuck? Nah, he ain't ready for Crawford. Yo, if you want to fight Crawford, like I said, I'm not one to try to stop somebody, but I think Crawford beats him, man. Crawford gives him a boxing lesson right now. I think that, he need to work a little bit. He need to work a little bit on his defense and shit. Stop being so stiff, man. Being so stiff and like he gotta get a little bit more fluent and a little bit more loose. He has everything else. It's all there. He's got a solid foundation. I would just like to see him use his feet a little bit more. I would like to see him pop the jab a little bit more, slow down, let the power come behind him from, you know what I'm saying, like beautiful combinations, because you seen when he was hitting them with that double up jab combination, he's got snapback jab potential. Like, he's got a jab like that, like Kovalev would dream of having. For real. If he just wants to shoot that thing all night, man, that's a problem. But I would like to see him use his feet a little bit more, because I've seen him do it, man. I've seen beautiful pivots from him when, he had to go a little bit with us when he put that punishment on Sammy Vargas, man. He's got beautiful pivots, man. He's got a nice game with him. I just would love to see him use his feet a little bit more. That way, you know what I mean? He's not caught stationary so much on the receiving end, getting caught in a high guard, getting positioned to be hit by 5, 6 hit combinations. You'll be able to see him a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? You get a little bit lateral, get a little bit more in and out about you. But yeah, man, he's got it all though, man. I just think that Crawford should be something a little bit more like, like in another year, 2022, the end of 2022, why not call for Crawford? But Yordenis Ugas, he fights Ugas right now. I think that'll be a hell of a fucking fight. I think he stops Ugas, but it's not going to be easy, because I think Ugas will put up a better fight than Maurice Hooker would. He would. Ugas got a lot of, and Ugas will give Vergil Ortiz all of the right looks that he needs to see right now. Break up that stationary monotony a little bit, get him a little bit more on his toes, get to see a fighter that loves, work beautifully on the counter. Yordenis Ugas kind of reminds me of like, Bernard Hopkins, laying and waiting in the counter, beautiful with the Philly, real good with the finesse game, but got some thump with him too. I think he'll learn a lot and get to see a lot of good, interesting looks from a Yordenis Ugas, and that'll be a real good demonstrator and get him ready for a Terrence Crawford for sure. I definitely think he knocks Errol out. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I'm not even gonna hold you. Right now, he'll knock Errol the fuck out. Errol can't beat that boy. I'm telling y'all right now. Errol can't beat him. But, of course, the boxing world is real weird, right? Because, it's like, we know on some level, like, these belts is a funny man's game. And the news, in the media, they'll tell you that. So at the same time, while this kid is young and while he doesn't have those type of things, these are the same type of narratives that Teofimo had to fight on his way to fighting Vasily Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to have to deal with some of those narratives. But the difference between him is people, the media already perceiving his power and all of that stuff for real, and they want to give him challenges. That's not saying outside of what the zone and everybody is saying, but we'll hear further down the line what it really is. But he could take an Errol Spence right now. And if people really wanted to genuinely have that conversation in the media, there would be a whole lot of truth in that. And it could honestly be factual if he was able to get in the ring and prove it. I really think that he could beat him. There ain't no if about it. He stops him. And he has all of the tools for that to be a banging fight. Like, both of them boys clashing at 147, because for real, I've always been one to think this. Errol ain't as strong as he could be, because Errol campaigning at 147. If Errol went up to 154 pounds, you would see a much better Errol Spence, a much healthier Errol Spence at the weigh-in, and just a much more responsive Errol Spence in his pop, snap, and his power in the ring when it came to his fights. He would look way better than he does when he fights, you know what I'm saying, like a Sean Porter and shit like that right now, 147. And I think, his chin is more susceptible to getting really rocked for the fact that he diminishes himself in weight so much. I think Vergil would really take advantage of Errol at 147, man. It's a lot of spice there, man. That's a like, yo, getting punched in the face is equivalent to a car crash too, bro. Shit is real. Jedi, what's up, my brothers? Salute to you. I'm gonna throw this link in here, man. If anybody want to talk that Vergil talk, man, talk that Vergil talk. And I'm gonna read some of these comments. Reaper Gang family, my nigga Die Hard, what it do? Ronald Franklin, salute, Brody. Speedy Rashidi versus Vergil Ortiz. Man, Speedy Rashidi ain't ready, man. It'll be a good look for him though. That just goes back to what I'm saying. That would be a good fight. And it would be a good, it'd be a good little flow to fight, getting them ready. You know what I'm saying? But Speedy Rashidi, he'll get dominated, man. But the thing is, Speedy Rashidi got a lot of slicks. Like I said, I would like to just continue to see him fighting more guys with movement. Because if you're going to deal with a Terrence Crawford, you're going to have to deal with a lot of movement, and you're going to have to deal with a lot of switch hitting movement. And it's time. And the one thing that makes Terrence so great is his timing is so fast and deceptive at the same time. His power is deceptive, but his timing is so on point. Like he just knows how to check you. And that just right now, I just see him being checked a lot by Terrence. Two hands, that's a use underestimating the Spence. If he can stop Spence, he's definitely ready for Crawford. It's a different fight, man. It's a different fight. When I look at what Errol Spence does, and when I look at what Terrence Crawford does, I think they do things a lot different. Once again, what I see in Errol Spence is I see that Derek James school of thought, that same school of thought that Charlo uses. You know what I'm saying? That A to B streamlined work. You know what I'm saying? Operating traditional. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence is a little bit more body savvy than everybody else. But man, I've seen him throw a fucking 1,000 body shots mixed with 1,000 low blows on fucking Sean Porter, and it didn't move him. I would have to say right now, me saying what I'm saying is I consider Vergil Ortiz a lot more durable than a Sean Porter right now. I think Vergil Ortiz hits a lot harder than Sean Porter right now. I just feel like the style right now with Vergil Ortiz movements and capabilities from what I've seen and the level of opposition that he's already been in the ring with now that he has a mighty Mo Hooker under his belt with the other opponents with the last four opponents that he's fought. Vergil Ortiz is already, I would say, geared to put Errol Spence in a position to where he could really punish him and knock him out because his body work is there, his ferocity is there, it's up. I don't think that Vergil Ortiz would have to look for as many things that he would have to look for in Crawford. It doesn't take away from anybody as an opponent. It's just when it comes to certain fight, looks become a lot different. I think that Errol Spence's look is a little bit more elementary than what Terrence Crawford looks are going to bring to the table. He has to train for a lot more. I just think that Vergil Ortiz and Errol Spence is going to be much more, he's going to be a lot more in front of him. And once again, like I just said, I think that at 147, Errol Spence, you put this guy in there with a prime 22-year-old, 23-year-old kid, ferocious in power, ferocious in speed, got footwork, got ability and shit like that. And your malnourished game is real strong where you jumping on the scales 2 and 3 times on your last three fights. Bro, it's not going to look good for you. It's not going to look good for you. Like, yo, I'm not going to sit up here and say that Errol Spence did not look scary motherfucking malnourished when he weighed in for Danny Garcia, because we all know he did. It's just like, yo, his blow up weight to like what he looks like, his natural weight to what he's cutting, it ain't, I don't know, man. I just think that he would be more primed to get knocked out by Vergil. Real rap. And like what we seeing from the kid, I just think that, like I said, and if I didn't say it, let me say it now. It makes a hell of a fight. I just would favor him to win that fight. That's all. That's just my opinion. What up? What up? What up?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Two Hands D. What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man. What's going on, my
Sure.
brother? How you feeling?
Just
What's up?
just chilling,
Can
man.
you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you,
hear you.
bro.
Oh, all right. What's up, fellas?
Chilling, brother, chilling, man. I'm basically feeling everything you saying. Two Hands. Look, Sean Porter had his chance. We all know, right? Then he want to go and lie, and then of course, us uploaders had to debunk his shit as to him saying that it was Porter that turned it down when it was really him. So he out the picture right now. He nobody relevant. Let's talk about this young Ortiz now. Now that fight has enough. I think Ortiz is semi-ready, but let's have that instead of a Sean Porter because that would make a lot of sense. Number one, number two, what Vergil Ortiz has to offer uh, uh, Crawford in that ring as to movement, timed shots, saying placement of shots on the inside. He can deliver much better and bring a much better, neater fight than a Sean Porter would. Sean Porter would look like a Jeff Horn out there and most likely get defeated like a Jeff Horn against a Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So let's campaign for Vergil Ortiz and Bud Crawford. Now, did you notice the different energy on how Crawford's eyes lit up and he wanted that fight? Then when you
Oh
take a
yeah.
look at Errol Spence Jr., he looked a little worried with his little. I don't know if that was a beard, son, or if that was drawn on. I don't know what the hell that was, but it looked phony to me, dog.
Hey, when they asked Crawford about that fight, he didn't show interest. He said he got things to do, bro. Now, I mean, Crawford, when after the fight, they did
Well,
put the camera on him. Hold on. He said, I knocked that motherfucker out. But he won't hyped up to get that fight, though. Because he got shit
well,
in
you
front
gotta
of him.
understand. You gotta understand. This was before, but D, you can't leave out the fact that this was before him and Mo Hooker him and Mo Hooker had even walked in the ring. So that would be basically him throwing in his man face that he's basically gonna fucking lose to goddamn Vergil Ortiz. That would be a disrespect to Mo. So basically, he was saying that, of course, he's going to say that he has a lot to do and things of that nature. But I think, but you seen, but just like you said, immediately after the fight, you seen after the fight how his eyes lit up, how he was like, "I'll fuck him up" and shit like that. So
Yeah,
it changes. So we got to take those type of politics in it too, because the niggas is from the same little stable over there. So
yeah.
I
I think
I,
it
I
was more or
understand why
less.
he said that.
I think it was more or less because Virgil said when Terrence Crawford eyes lit up like that, it was after the comment that Virgil made when he was asked about the Crawford fight. He said, "I might not be ready, but I want that fight." And then they put the camera on Crawford, and it was from that statement that he was like, "Shh, I fucked that motherfucker up." But I don't, me personally, just I could be wrong. I don't think it was one of those things where he's like showing interest in that fight. I'm with you, like the saving of the face and all of that, but it was more of a response in the Virgil saying, "I might not be ready, but I want that fight."
Well, yeah,
You know
we're
what I
agreeing
mean?
on the same thing here. I don't see, and this is what I need to make this clear because I don't want this to go down a rabbit hole of people thinking that you know I'm saying that, oh, Bud's looking to have this fight right now or something like that. No, I'm not saying that. But if naturally within watching somebody, you know what I'm saying, your man just do battle and he just saw what he just did to Mo Hooker or
Yeah,
whatever the case may be, and the conversation is brought up in the ring or whatever, of course you already gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? If your name is brought on, be like, yeah, I'll do work because that's what you're supposed to do in a situation like because that situation is different because I feel like that's new energy and that's authentic energy compared to, you know what I'm saying, like you know what I mean? I just feel like that's really what it was supposed to be, and he responded how it was supposed to be in that situation at that time.
yeah,
Just like, Virgil responding to situations how he's supposed to right now at this given time. Like he just beat Mighty Mo Hooker. You know what I'm saying? This man he's been knocking down credible names, so he's on his way. I mean, I just like the kid got some. He's got a lot less. He's got a hell of a motherfucking lot of motherfucking. He's got a hell of a long way to go, man. I mean, as far as he can learn so fucking much, and
Oh yeah.
he's so fucking talented. He's got all the intangibles and all of the gifts where he's so talented that he can learn so much from
Mm.
22 and he's got all the way up to 30 and still just be getting on niggas' ass. Pause. Like that's how vicious this nigga can be.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you and Jedi believe that Maurice Hooker could have more success uh, versus Vergil Ortiz than Errol Spence?
I believe so, man. He just has to train a bit more harder, man. It comes to the of in the training and being prepared for what's coming,
Right.
and that seems to be the problem. But yo, he has so much potential, bro. Hell yeah, I think so. I think so. All you got to
So
do is
you
work
believe
at it.
Maurice Hooker could? Okay, see, this is my thing. And everybody's got their own opinion. I
Yeah.
just feel like you guys really underestimate Spence. That's just my opinion because, like you just said, you feel like Maurice Hooker could have more success against Vergil, and then like I just heard Two Hands say he feel like he'll beat Spence. He'll get outboxed, outclassed by Crawford. In my opinion, nobody beats Crawford but Spence, and nobody's beating Spence but Crawford. That's just my opinion. So
I
if
disagree with that
logically,
though.
I know. That's why I said we see things differently. I feel like that Spence is underestimated. I mean, you guys don't see what I see in Spence.
But that doesn't have to do with me underestimating them. Once again, you know what I'm saying? Just like I stated when you brought that up, this doesn't have anything to do with underestimating or tearing down Spence. If we look at Spence's recent history, when we look at the people we look at who Spence has fought, and we look how Spence has fought. We can't sit up there and say Errol Spence is going to be in position to where, Mighty Mo Hooker can't be in a position to where he can do damage to an Errol Spence, or, Vergil Ortiz couldn't stop Errol Spence. Errol Spence has showed us that he hasn't been in a position to stop anybody in his last 3 fights. He's in a position to where he can get hit an awful lot. We know Vergil Ortiz has stopping power, so all of my statements are coming from the things that I've seen and he's shown me. And that's why I made it a key point to even acknowledge the fact, to give him a little bit more respect for people who are Errol Spence fans and saying, I think at 147, he's a little too malnourished and zapped in power and strength being at 147 than fighting at 154, because the 2 and 3 times consistently trying to make weight and shit like that, that shit fucking does play a part against you. That's probably why his power isn't the same. That's probably why he's looking the way he's looking against Sean Porter and other people. But are there things about Spence that I like? Absolutely. I just feel like when it comes to a matchup against Vergil Ortiz and Errol Spence is he's in a lot. He can put himself in very much position to where he can get knocked the fuck out. Like, that's just all I'm saying. Like,
I hear you there, but my thing is this: where I feel what you're saying about him putting himself in position, but saying that Errol Spence hasn't stopped anybody in his last 3 fights or whatever, I get that. But Errol Spence not stopping guys doesn't have anything to do with him being stopped. That's different.
Actually,
let me finish, Jedi.
Go ahead.
I'm just going off of what was said here. He said Errol Spence hasn't stopped guys, and that's true. I don't disagree with that. But durability comes to question about him being stopped. And we ain't seeing guys stopping, wobbling, stinky legging. Yeah, we see Spence buzz, but I mean, it went way back since Larte, bro. And Spence being fucking very, very defensively irresponsible, getting caught with that shot where he got. That's the only time we ever seen Spence get wobble, and he wasn't even in trouble. Like after that round, he beat the shit out of Larte. So
that's not true, D. He was susceptible to fucking Danny Garcia's fucking left. All fucking night he was getting popped with that slow ass hand. He still was in spots. He still was in spots where you could tell he took significant damage or he was hurt in certain places. Now you can look at wobbled or whatever. When he fought fucking Sean Porter, he got struck with a shot that rocked him. You know what I'm saying?
I said he been buzzed before, fam. I said he been buzzed before. I
don't care about. I mean, but what I'm saying is it goes back. These are different. I don't feel like those individuals are nowhere near as big of a puncher as Vergil Ortiz is. This nigga is different. You can't get Danny Garcia is slow as shit. You can't get caught with your hands down all night, just get eating fucking shots like that. All I'm saying is all of these things play in a factor to what I'm saying. That don't have nothing to do with underestimating Errol. Now, if you have high stock in Errol, that's your opinion, and I ain't going to take that away from you. I can't take it away from you because that's what you think. But I'm just saying, when it comes in the realm of I'm not going to make Mighty Mo Hooker, Errol Spence, and Bud Crawford and all this shit, one big triangle theory, because it's not that. When it came down in the conversation, I was specifically talking about Vergil Ortiz and I was talking about Errol Spence. I don't feel like he can win that fight. I mean, he can win that fight, but I don't feel like he wins that fight if they were to fight, because just from the things that I've seen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I feel you, and bro, that's the underestimation. If you think, okay, look, from my perspective, that's an underestimation because there's only two best at 147. The way I see it, Crawford and Spence. Those are the two best. So if we're saying that Hooker or Vergil or anybody else beat Spence, but they don't beat Crawford, then we're not estimating that Spence is one of the top two best guys at 147. Which what I'm saying.
But how many times, when have you ever heard me say out of my mouth that Errol Spence is the top pound for pound, or he's the number one and number two at 147? Just because you got titles, it don't necessarily make you the best. I never say that. You know what I'm saying? So
you did, and I never implied that. That's why I said this is where the disconnect is. I see him as 1A, 1B with Crawford. You don't.
Right. And I'm never going to see it like that, because it's like I don't feel, I've never felt like that's a fight he necessarily wins. And in areas when I was super high on Errol Spence, I got to see more and more deficiencies as fights started to happen. So I started looking at him like, oh, don't mean I don't like dude. I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, now I see where son he can get touched up or whatever. Now, when I'm just looking at Yordenis Ugas, because you just completely just dismissed him and counted him out. He clearly, in my opinion, you didn't mention him because he's got a title as well right now.
We weren't talking about him, so I didn't dismiss Ugas.
So I'm just saying, you only said Crawford. So what I'm saying is, just like you didn't mention Yordenis Ugas, I feel like Errol Spence gets presented a problem with Yordenis Ugas, because how we mentioned Sean Porter and all of this shit, I tend to feel like people leave out the fact that Yordenis Ugas really beat Sean Porter, and he don't get the credit for it. So I'm just saying, there are other factors that don't necessarily. So should I have the same theory that because Yordenis Ugas beat Sean Porter, that he should be able to, go in there and do better than what Sean Porter did to Errol Spence? So I'm just saying, it don't necessarily make Errol Spence a 1A. I mean, Errol Spence and Crawford a 1A or 1B for me. It just makes me feel as though I'm just like, okay, Errol Spence is a champion. I'm just saying, in areas where I feel like in this conversation that we're having, for me, for what you're saying to be more solidified in my mind, I would have to see him fight other figures than Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia right now. That's like the big problem for me. You know what I mean? Because the Sean Porter fight, he didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta see this kid like in a position where I'm like, all right, this is a dude that I can respect. Danny Garcia ain't never did shit at 147. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, where niggas is giving Errol all of this credit, I feel like niggas should slow down and really look at it a little bit. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I feel all of that, bro. All I'm saying is, like, again, we just see Errol Spence differently, and that's just, I think that's just how it is, because with the Ugas situation, the reason I ain't mentioned Ugas is because Spence can right fight him. All of these people talking about Vergil should fight him and all of that. Man, Vergil ain't getting that fucking fight. Ain't no fucking way the PBC gonna let Spence miss that third belt, fam. Ain't nobody getting that third belt from Crawford or Spence. So this whole thing with Vergil Ortiz fighting Ugas, in my opinion, he's just going to fight a fucking loser. Yeah, Ugas will give Spence some problems. Danny gave him problems. Porter gave him problems. Green Machine gave Crawford problems. Enough problems that he put him down on the canvas, but he still beat him. So just because God's going to give a guy problems, I agree with that. He'll give him some issues. He's going to lose. He's still going to lose the fucking fight. And fuck, Abel Ramos fucking rocked that motherfucker and almost had him on stinky leg in the 12th round. That motherfucker not beating Spence.
Yeah, see, what I was saying was, basically how Ugas even came up was off the fact of where, you know what I'm saying, somebody asked me if Vergil was ready for Crawford. I said, now for a guy like Crawford, I said for him, I said not right now. I said maybe by the end of 2022, I could possibly see them fighting, but I would want to see him fight guys like your Deniers Ugas, guys that are more counter responsible, more patient. You know what I'm saying? More committed to being defensively sound, has good footwork and a good pedigree, so he can get different looks from more guys with different slick styles that are more, like I said, counterintuitive. So all I'm saying is I'm just giving this kid future potential looks. If I'm just saying, if hypothetically speaking, there was a situation where if he was to go in that direction, those are some of the things that I would necessarily want to see him do. Not saying that these are fights that are going to come to fruition or anything like that. Like I said, at the beginning of this whole shit, I said ambitions are ambitions, and we all have to respect ambitions, and we can like ambitions, but they don't necessarily make it reality, and it don't necessarily mean that it's finite or it's concrete, that anybody is going to catch a dub or fight this person or that person right now. We know the politics. We all know what's going on, but just in celebration and in looking down the road of what this kid potentially can be, all of the things all of the skills this kid does have, the energy surrounding this kid last night, and just the road that he's gotten here. I'm just saying, you know, hey man, we're gonna have to have these conversations. So
yeah, now I hear you. All right, now to answer
but
these,
I gotta ask. Hold on 1 second. Hold that thought for 1 second, because I gotta respond to Carlos super chat. That bitch been up for a minute. He says people saying Ortiz versus Bud equals Vargas versus Trinidad 2.0. Do y'all agree?
Nah, that was in the class by itself.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, that's in the class by itself. But well, what I wanted to say was, look, I don't underestimate Bud Crawford. It's the same thing with Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? Nobody's taking away from him. He takes away from himself, right? When he had the car accident, everybody felt bad, but at the same time, everybody was worried. Is he coming back? Is he going to be the same? He took that away from himself. When he came back, his fights were lackluster. It's not that he lost power. It's not that. It's just he to me, in ring, he's irresponsible as a champion. He's not fighting who he's supposed to be fighting. I mean, he's going to have repetitious fights. After Ugas is going to be another Porter, I'm telling you, or Ugas rematch. It ain't going to go past that stable. This is why I'm upset. You know what I mean? Now, when I compare him and Bud Crawford together, you got to see that Bud Crawford is the one out here trying to make fights, and these guys don't want to make fights. I mean, understand, PBC is the only fucking people, which is, you know, taking care of fucking Errol Spence, that have made a street, bro, that are not recognizing a title. Now all of a sudden, they're rushing to get this WBA to say that one of them is fully unified. They want to make a rule where they're going to fully unify only 3 straps, not 4, and omit the WBO. This is what they want to do. This is what I'm saying. Spence is going to move up. He's going to move up, and that's going to be kind of fucked up to me. This is where he sells himself short, because every time the fact that at 147, if you're the best, you've always got someone that's next to you. Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather had a Manny Pacquiao, right? Sugar Ray Leonard at the time had a Hearns, and he beat him. And then he had a Durant. You know what I'm saying? It's shit like that you're supposed to answer. And to me, he's not going to answer that fight. He's going to move to 154. Then with Bud Crawford, where he was asked, will you move up to 154? He looked and he shrugged his shoulder. And I know why he shrugged his shoulder. And I just don't want him to waste his career chasing fucking Errol Spence Jr., which we know he does not want to fight the guy that's going to answer our question, to answer his question, who's the best at 147 right now. So this is why I don't put too much stock into Errol Spence Jr. until he moves. Every time he moves and he budges, I catch a little interest. And I have a right to do that because he has let me down so many times. This is all I'm saying. And there's a cup. You know what I'm saying? And his cup has not run it full, like, you know what I'm saying, yet on my side. So I just feel like he's got a lot of answering to do as a champion. And especially after this Ugas, his promotion is going to have to collaborate with other promotions to make these fights, because remember, they are ranked fighters in Golden Boy. They are ranked fighters in Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? In Matchroom, that for them straps. How come we're not seeing these things? That's my question to Errol Spence Jr., just like my question with Wilder. The same shit. It's the same runaway train with these two motherfuckers. This is just from what I see.
When you watch this kid, these niggas like Jose Ramirez, like these niggas are stopping like they stopping dog niggas in their prime. Like Maurice Hooker ain't no slouch at the end of the day. He was a dog nigga in his prime. He stopped this man, broke him and stopped him. Like that's what I'm saying. So when I look at that and I'm looking at like you can't stop a lightweight. You know what I'm saying? You're not stopping nobody you've been in the ring with. Like you like Danny Garcia is there to be hit all day long. If Lamont Peterson can beat him to the point where he bloody, damn near about to get stopped, you can't stop him. Like, man, niggas, man.
Let me ask y'all a question. Who do you guys believe is more? Who hits harder? Who do you guys believe hits harder? Vergil Ortiz or Egidius Kavialaskas? Who do you guys, in your opinion, thinks hit harder?
It's a lot more velocity. It's a lot more velocity. It's a lot more velocity, and it's a lot more motherfucking It's a lot more velocity, and it's a lot more speed on that motherfucking punch. That motherfucking Vergil throw, but motherfucking Kavialuskas ain't no little dude, man. He's a big, brolic, strong dude. So I can't sit up there and say measure for measure who's stronger than who. But I know motherfucking both of them niggas crack though.
Do you think that Vergil Ortiz would have stopped Ray Robinson Jr.? Because I believe he would have stopped him. I believe he would have stopped Ray Robinson Jr.
Well, look. In my opinion,
come on now. Do you think Vergil would stop Ray Robinson Jr.? Come on, just answer that real quick.
Hold on.
Vergil Ortiz could stop Ray Robinson Jr. I mean, shit.
Egidius Kavialaskas could not. And he was hitting him with some good shots, man.
Okay, are you leaving out the fact that Egidius Kavialuskas is a dude who is stuck in his mud? And what is the one thing that fucking the new Ray Robinson do? He can move his ass off. He a slick he a slick boxer, and he kept him stuck. Period. He didn't play his game and get in the position to where he could get punch bombed. So if you want to do that shit, don't ignore the fact that you already know that Egidius Kavialuskas cannot keep up if you're going to dance on him just in the realm of what the way Ray Robinson played keep away with him. So come on, stop that shit.
I'm just saying. Hold on. I'm gonna speak because I'm not
that shit is cap.
I'm saying it depends on the punch placement because I've seen a lot of heavyweights get caught with punches that knocked out the last heavyweight by the dude that knocked out, and it ain't happened. So it's all about punch placement, really. Like look what happened with Dillian Whyte and Povetkin. Dillian Whyte was whooping Povetkin all over the place until one good place shot, bro, was put in there that he didn't see. That's really, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You can't even play that game with him because he didn't even go in fucking. You talking about a shot where Terrence Crawford walked in there and fucking battled this man inside his wheelhouse and got clipped by him at the fresh of the fucking in the fresh beginning of the fucking fight while this man is at his peak of his strength. And you talking about another dude who played keep away and used his slicks and abilities, a boxer guy who you know has no footwork and can only fight you one way is to walk you down and out muscle you. Doesn't have no motherfucking ability to move. So how you gonna try to sit up there and use the fact that he didn't knock out fucking Ray? You know that's some bullshit. I don't want to hear that.
I'm
talking about D talking that whack shit.
Hold on for a second, two hands with this whack shit. Now, come on, bro. You're getting a little aggressive here because.
If you feel like it's aggressive, it ain't aggressive at all. But you talking crazy.
Let me talk because there's another guy earlier in his career that he didn't stop. You know, like Vergil Ortiz is a guy who has stopped everyone. My whole thing is I believe Vergil has more power than Kavialaskas. I think he got more power. I think he's showing us. Brad Solomon, a guy never been stopped. Vargas, a guy never been stopped. Like he's showing us that he has that power. Egidius Kavialaskas.
What are we talking about?
Hold on. Let me finish, fam. Let me finish, and you'll get to what I'm talking about. Egidius Kavialaskas stopped a bunch of low-level fighters. He got in there. Yes, Ray Robinson can move, but he didn't stop Ray Robinson, and he got demolished by Crawford, right? So my thing is this. That dude don't have more power, not equal power, to Vergil Ortiz. He doesn't. He's not proving
bro,
it. If we're gonna talk about what people
bro.
are proving in boxing,
First
how
of
has
all,
Eugenius Kavialovsky proven he got more
look,
power than
you
or
come up in
equal
here,
power than Virgil?
you butthurt about Errol Spence. Now you want to
I'm
talk to
not
me
butthurt.
about,
I'm
hold
asking
on,
questions, man.
stop, my nigga, stop.
What's
Because
this butthurt
now I'm about
spirit?
to get spicy. Stop. Yes, you are.
Okay,
You
okay,
monster
come on,
butthurt
let's
about
go.
Spence.
Let's
And
go.
you want to talk all this motherfucking comparison shit. What the fuck is Vergil Ortiz and Aegis Cavalus's power got to do with anything when clearly all I've been talking about is this power, what smack he has and
I
anything?
won't make a
Because
point
if
of
you're
it.
trying to make a
I
point,
won't make
because
a
if you're
point.
going to go back to fucking Errol Spence and fucking Bud Crawford, you feel as though he has a chance of
That's
catching
not what I'm
Crawford and
going back
stopping
to.
Bud Crawford.
You
What the
making
fuck are you trying
assumptions.
to
That's
say?
not what I'm going back
Because you
to.
blowing the fuck out me right
Hold
now.
up. Because you ain't listening, and that's not what I was going back to. Not at all. What I was going back to, what those questions was leading to, was Bud Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz. It didn't have anything to do with Spence. Now you just made an assumption that my
Bruh,
question.
and didn't I
Hold on,
just
see,
say
there you
this
go,
shit is
bro.
gonna,
Come on,
man,
two hands. Come on, bro. Come on now. Come
bro,
on,
I
dog.
already
You
know
just,
where you going because
I know, but you just made an assumption that it was about Spence and it had nothing to do with Spence.
it does have to do with
No,
that
it
because all you
doesn't,
going
bro.
to go ahead and
Oh
say
my
what you gonna
gosh,
say.
man.
Go
Like I
ahead,
can't.
say
You
please say
guys,
what
I'm
you
gonna
gonna
just
say.
leave if you gonna get upset and keep getting
Man, then
mad, bro.
leave. I don't give a fuck.
But you getting mad, dog. You getting mad. This supposed to be a discussion, not an argument. Like it's no need to get mad here. My question that had nothing to do with
Bruh,
Spence.
if you
That's
man
an
say what you
assumption you
gonna
made.
say or don't say nothing at all. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay. All right. Well, this is my point then. I don't think Egidius Kavialovskis hits nowhere near he don't have the power as a Vergil Ortiz. My whole point and what I was getting to had nothing to do with Spence. It had to do with the Vergil Ortiz Crawford fight. If we can reasonably assess that Egidius Kavialovskis found success, he didn't win. He got his ass whooped, but he found success versus Crawford. To me, he not hitting hard as Vergil Ortiz, so I cannot just count Vergil Ortiz out of that fight. I don't count Vergil Ortiz out of Spence fight. I didn't. People ask me about it. I say he got a chance in that fight, but I don't count him out of Crawford fight either because one thing we know about Crawford, like we can break down Spence, and I don't sit up here disagreeing with a lot of shit people say about Spence, but when we look here and break down Crawford now, he has the propensity to when he gets hit, he gotta get
Bruh,
his
how
fucking.
the fuck is you gonna sit
Okay,
here for
there we
fucking
go.
5 minutes talking about you want to explain what you gotta explain and you exactly go in the same direction, exactly what the fuck I just said. That's exactly what the fuck I said you was just gonna do, and you just did that shit.
I
And you
didn't
gonna
do,
say it
I
had something to
didn't do
do with something
anything, bro.
completely different. Nah, that shit ain't have nothing to do with
It's
nothing
about the
different. That's
fight.
the
It's about
bullshit
the
I'm
fight.
talking about, Slim.
It's
Man,
about
come
the
on,
fight.
man.
It's about the fight with
Come
Crawford
on, man.
and Vergil.
Nobody is saying, nobody ever said that fucking Vergil Ortiz doesn't stand a chance against Terrence Crawford. We were just saying right now, somebody asked me a question if he was ready or not. I said right now, I wouldn't like to see him take that fight. I don't think he is ready right now. You saying you had to give him a chance? We all give him a fucking chance, D. Nobody's saying
Okay,
he don't have a fucking chance. We
he's
fully
a
aware he
contender,
got
right?
power.
Is he a contender or is he a prospect? Is Vergil a contender or a prospect? He's a fucking contender, so he's ready for Crawford. He's a contender. And the kid says himself, he don't know if he's ready or not, but he wants to fight. He's ready for Crawford. See, this whole atmosphere of boxing with these guys,
Man,
motherfucker,
hold
go
on, man,
fight
hold on.
Crawford and lose. Go
So
fight Crawford and
was
lose.
your conversation going to be? So was your conversation going to be? If that was what your conversation was going to be, then why the fuck ain't we just have it? So you could tiptoe around and go down this whole fucking Errol Spence emotional fucking main street just to get here. Why ain't you just
Okay,
say, is he a contender?
because
He can have it. Clearly we know he a contender. Clearly I just said that shit earlier fucking too. Dog, if this was the conversation we was going to have, then you should have had it. But you wanted to do all of that other shit to try to make a point because once again, you trying to balance the fucking scales for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. I don't give a fuck how you feel. We're never going to come to an agreement there. But at the end of the day, he's a contender. He can do whatever he wants because I just said I don't want to see no fighter, especially him, put under the same media restraints that Teofimo Lopez was under when people were saying he wasn't ready for X, Y, and Z. Because once again, ambitions are ambitions. He can do what he want to do. The fuck, man?
right, he can do what he want to do. And Jedi came in and said he don't feel like Sean Porter should be next. He feel like Vergil should be next. Only thing I'm saying is Vergil should be next if he wants that fight. If he wants that fight, Sean Porter fucking around. If he wants that fight, I think he is ready. I'm not saying that he'll win. I think Crawford wins that fight, but I think he's ready for that fight.
Look, as a boxing fan, if that fight was to happen, I'm not adverse to it. I don't have a problem with it. It should happen. Any good fight that is getting thrown up on a boxing roster, it should happen, because I'm not at the liberty to say who's ready or who isn't ready. If it's on him to want to do that, if that's his ambition, then let it be. But at the end of the day, whatever the outcome is, that's on him. All I'm going to do is enjoy the shit. I don't care what a person want to do, and I'm not at the point where I'm putting so much emphasis on this young man's career where I'm saying, yo, he don't have to do this or do that, because I've always been the one who stands behind. I don't care talking about fighters are too young. They shouldn't be ready to face off against champions. I've always been the one who champions for that and campaigns for that. So I would never be a person to not tell him to do that. So asking me, is he a fucking prospect or is he a contender? That shit don't work for me, when you should already know that that's something that I firmly stand behind. I'm answering all questions and I'm covering multiple different angles when it comes to just the evolution of this kid and what happened last night, what scenarios can play out and what he's talking about and where could they go. All of this shit is hypothetical. All of this shit. But at the end of the day, if it come down to Terrence Crawford and him, fuck it. Let them niggas wreck, because I'm going to get the same type of shit that I got out of Maurice Hooker and motherfucking Vergil Ortiz last night. Period. Because more dudes in their prime need to fight at the end of the day. That's all that fucking matter. I don't care who it is. How young.
They all need to fight. All of them motherfuckers need to fight. All of this prima donna shit at 135. Who's supposed to be fighting now? Crawford and Vergil, Crawford and Spence and all of that shit. But anyway, the thing is this. Vergil Ortiz, to me, and I'm getting ready to do a video about this shit, he embodies what we need to see in boxing. All of this just bouncing around and shit like that. Bro, people should be pushing for this. Like, he should be pushing things. He should be pushing for this Crawford fight. He should push for it hard as hell, bro. Because these guys are taking a loss and shit. Fuck that. If he takes a loss to Terrence Crawford, what happened when Canelo took a loss to the pound for pound guy? It made him better. Vergil could take that loss to Crawford, and then 10 years from now, everybody will be talking how Virgil's the best in boxing. Like, that's the fight he should take, bro. That's the fight that should happen.
Look, hey, like I said, I'm not opposed to it, because once again, you already fighting Mauricio Herrera, you already fighting Sammy Vargas and shit like that, just coming up, learning. You already fighting the Rose Clothes of Solomons. You already just fought Maurice Hooker. You stopped him. You stopped him in 7 or less. So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not opposed to him fighting Terrence Crawford. If that's going to be the fight, then let it be, because the way I look at it is, it could be a reality for him in this regard. Terrence Crawford don't necessarily have a Sean Porter on the table. He don't have a Manny Pacquiao on the table. That's going into Mikey Garcia's direction. He don't have Keith Thurman or any one of these top 147 guys on the table. So if that young kid comes in there and it positions himself, if that could be the fight, then fuck it. If that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. I'm not standing in the way of no good fight, period. That's just not what I do. So all I'm saying is, I mean, the reality is, ain't the kid like the WBO international champion or some shit like that?
Some shit. He got a silver belt or some dumb shit.
Some little trinket title or whatever. But all I know is, man, just like I said, that's what I was saying earlier. I was like, man, how many directions can he go? Because if he just fought Mo Hooker, I mean, there's only a couple other individuals that he could fight as far as contenders. That's why I would like to see him fight a Sean Porter or a Keith Thurman or somebody of that nature. But I'm just like, realistically, how many opportunities does he have of getting a fight like that? Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of it's hard to say, but whatever his next match make should be, I don't think it should be less than Mo Hooker, but I don't think it should be like all the way turned up to the max too. I just think it should be like a good, top 10 contender, that's real scrappy, that gives him an awkward look for real. Get him prepared for different looks. I would just keep getting him ready for real.
I don't even really have no problem at all with it because Teofimo went from fucking Nakatani to Richard Coleman to Lomachenko. To me, this would be no different. Virgil would be going from fucking Samuel Vargas to Hooker to Crawford, and nobody felt like Teofimo could beat. Not nobody, but many people did. Most people didn't feel like Teofimo could get in there and beat Lomachenko, which is probably the same, you know, same consensus that people will have concerning Virgil and Crawford. But shit, this is the sport of boxing. And the only thing I notice about Crawford, he gets himself into trouble when he wants revenge. That's one of the few flaws that he do have. He gets himself into trouble when he's trying to get his revenge. Every time he got in trouble in fights, it was because he was doing that. Somebody popped in with something good, and he kind of got a little undisciplined and went in there to get revenge and got himself hurt. You do that against somebody like Virgil, and Virgil will touch him. That could be a problem. So again, I picked Crawford to win that fight for sure. But this is one of these fights where, you know, this kid could shock the world, and just being in that position, man, fuck that waiting. PBC and Porter and all of that. PBC trying to make fucking fights with top rank and these guys that PBC want too much money. Man, this fight with Virgil could happen. No arguments, none of that shit. Let's make that fight happen, bro. Fuck all of these other fights. Crawford, everybody running the fuck away from Crawford. Like, we know this. Nobody want to get in the ring with Crawford. The Porter shit, first Porter don't want to fight Crawford, then they don't want to fight each other, then Crawford not worried about Porter. That's just a fucking circus right there. Fight Virgil. That's the fight that's available. Now you can't say nobody want to fight you. This motherfucker want to fight you right now. And why even negotiate with people that's playing games like the PBC? Fight fucking Virgil.
See, like, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, you know, he just got out the ring with Mo Hooker last night. I see this fight really becoming a reality. Like I said, this fight, there's no, when you look at the both individuals, Mad Chad salute. When you look at both individuals are fighters, man. It's gonna happen. My thing is, like, right now, business-wise or whatever's going on, for what's going on right now, Bud Crawford's probably going to be trying to get in a fight within the next couple of months or announcing an opponent. So we know it's not going to happen now. So really, it does make sense for it being, you know, their next couple fights out or something like that. If it's something that's going to come to fruition, because once again, Virgil picking up steam, and his star power, I'm telling you, the boy got star written all over him, and you could see it last night. So it's one of those fights that I think it could be a major big fight too, and a major U.S. market fight for real. Give it like I would honestly give it like like I said, I would like to see it happen at the end around the end of 2022, because if it happened around the end of 2022, that shit'll be fucking huge, man. That shit'll be huge. But if it happened right now, it'll be big too, because it'll propel him. He'll get the WBO, but we all know what's going to happen to Virgil. The same thing that's going to be happening to Crawford if he wins. He's going to be sitting there waiting, and he ain't going to be able to get a Spence fight. He ain't going to be able to get a PBC fight. 147 is a stonewall division, man. Is my mic on?
Yeah, you on two hands. You on two hands.
All right. Yeah, I'm just making sure. I thought my shit disconnected or something. What's good with you, man? Chad, salute.
Hey, salute, Two Hands, man. One of my favorite songs in the whole world, it's called Two Hands, by a guy named Townes Van Zandt. It's a, you know, kind of little religious song, but it's called Two Hands. It's a nice little ditty. You'd get a kick out of it. It's a nice song, Two Hands. But what a great card. But nice fights yesterday, you know. Ortiz, he did what I thought he would do. I mean, much praise to Hooker. I mean, the Hooker went in there and he fought phone booth style there for a minute, and he hit the kid with some body shots, and you could see after the fight he touched Vergil up. You know, actually, you know, he looked a little cleaner than Vergil did. You know, and he busted his hand there. It was a little sad that the fans were giving him a little boo, and it was nice that Hooker said, "Go fuck yourself." You know what I mean? Because Hooker's a warrior. Hooker's a warrior. He blew his hand out, and he got up from some shots, The kid showed a lot of heart. And he is definitely a gatekeeper, if not a future champion, because he's only 31 and he's got skill. You know what I mean? And he fought Vergil. Vergil could be a superstar. He's got a lot of superstar written all over him. But, you know, I'm not sure if he's ready right now for, you know, I'd love to see the fight. Even he mentioned it. You know, I hate all this. He said, she said, this fucking Aram said this and they said that. I like it when it's out of the fighter's mouth after a fight or something. You know, Vergil, they asked him and he said, I don't know if I'm ready for fucking Bud, but I want to fight him. You know what I mean? And I love that attitude. And I think he sees it. If the best fight the best, you get the money. That's the only way you're going to get a real big payday is best fight the best. It doesn't matter if you lose. It doesn't matter if you lose. Look at Canelo. Canelo took a shot. He lost, right? But it propelled him. You can get propelled from a loss. I mean, Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward, I think they had fight of the year 2 times in a row. You know, it's like, they fought each other. In Arguello Pryor, I mean, if you fight each other, you get big interest, and then you get these huge fights. Like if Tank Davis fights Ryan Garcia, and it goes 9 rounds, and either one knocks each other out in the 9th round, it's going to gather everybody's interest, and everybody's going to love him. Win or lose, they're going to say, look at him. Tank got knocked down, and he got up, and then he knocked out. It'll be big. But if you're not fighting each other, and you're going on all this media stream and saying this and that, I'm so far out of politics that I could give a shit less because talk is cheap. That's one thing I've learned in my 51 years of life. Talk is fucking cheap, you know? And that's what I see a lot of this bullshit is. And it's a lot of smoke screens, and it's sad. I mean, it's going to be sad when Spence and Crawford are old men and they're looking back saying, why didn't we fight? They're gonna regret it. I'm telling you right now, because they're both warriors, they're both super talented fighters. It's almost like that gallon of milk in your fridge, you know, it's 4 days old, but you know you can still use it with your cereal. It's gonna be good. But don't let this milk turn into cottage cheese, fellas. We gotta get this fight going. And I wanna see it. But I'm almost sick and tired about it because if you snooze, you lose. It's going to be out with the old and with the new. We got these hungry Ortiz. We got Boots Ennis. We got some killers coming up. And if you guys just linger around with your millions, but remember, you got overhead. If you're not fighting, pushing your brand, you have an expiration date on your career, your sweet science, because your skills diminish overnight. Not saying that Bud's at the end, but he's not getting any better. Bud, come on, man. I want to see him fight. I think he's arguably one of the top 3 pound-for-pound skilled fighters in the world. And I want to see this guy in the ring showing that sweet science, showing us how to fight. You know, I want to see him fight the best. And I think it's best for him, best for his bank account, and best for the fans. It's a win-win for all, Two Hands. And thanks again for having me, Two Hands. You have a great channel. You have great content. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It's a beauty. It's a beauty today to be able to agree to disagree with respect, and that's what I respect, Two Hands. And thanks again. I'm going to sit back and shoot the shit. I'll tell you. And Beterbiev did not impress me yesterday. That
he did not.
He did not impress me. He was coming off a huge layup. Yes, I give him that, the layoff. Yes, it's going to be a little rusty, but he was also fighting a guy that was coming off a long layoff. I watched a little bit of clip of the DN's kid. He wasn't much. And Beterbiev was getting clipped up a little bit. He was taking some shots. And I'll tell you right now, the most impressive fighter, Two Hands, I have seen in a long time with my eyes, and I hate to say my eyes, but I can't really see that well, but is that David Benavidez. That David Benavidez, I never see him. You know, I can't honestly say a man that big, that freakish looking. He's got a weird body frame and long to throw those hands that fucking fast with that much pop. I haven't seen anybody like that in a long time. If this kid keeps his head fucking straight, he could fucking clean out 168, 175, and who knows? I mean, the kid not too long ago was pushing 300 fucking pounds. The kid's a freak. He's made mistakes, which I think you can come back better and smarter and stronger if you learn from your mistakes. This kid's young. This kid is matured. This kid's in, he's got a tight little circle right now. And I think the sky is the limit for David Benavidez. I see special things with him, Two Hands.
Yeah, he's a special kid. I really like David. I've always been high on David's skill. Always giving him a lot of props for the abilities that he possesses, and I wish nothing but the best for him in his career. And that's why I hope he keeps it together, man. It's unfortunate that he doesn't have the WBC, because that would have honestly been Canelo's Canelo's test right there. That would have been the one who pushed Canelo to the brink, where you really got to see what Canelo was really made of. And hopefully we get to see that happen, man. But yeah, David Benavidez is great, man. Mad Chad, I appreciate you, man. It's always a pleasure, man, to have you up, man. Anytime, man. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, two hands once again, man. You the man. I got two hands. I'm gonna clap, you know. And then he's got 2 feet. You know, the song goes on. But I'll tell you, you find this Towns Van Zandt song. It's called Two Hands. You know, you get your music turned up nice. You're gonna want to sing along and dance. You know what I mean? You're gonna feel good. It's gonna make you. It's gonna lift you up. Two hands. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna lift you up, and you're gonna feel like you're ready to fight fucking Tyson. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. Hey, that's the only way to feel, man. Shit, I'm gonna have to pop that in the car when I'm riding by the water.
Oh, you gotta. It's a must, especially with your two hands. It's just a must. Two hands. And
yeah,
it was so
man, definitely, man.
Situations how I met you. I was cranking that song at the time, and your name came up in something, and I'm like, who the fuck is Two Hands? And I went over and I see, I'm like, this fucking guy's all right, man. He's like, this guy's an OG from fucking, he knows his fucking sports. He's shooting some basketballs, fucking shit in there. This guy's the fucking legit man. So I've been, you know, coming over your channel, listening to you, you know,
I appreciate that.
Shit. I hopped up because I just wanted to, you know, just kind of, you know, be lingering a little bit. But thanks for having me, Two Hands. And like I said,
man, it's my pleasure, man.
This boxing shit is too much for me, man. I love it. I can't get enough of it. You know what I mean? And thanks a lot, Two Hands. I'm a big supporter.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do, man. Hey, man, Mad Chad, y'all, man. Great job, man. Yeah, man, Brett May. Hey, man, everything he said, man, was I like it, man. I like it all, man. Look, man, we're at a point right now in boxing to where it's really in a renaissance phase. Like we're in a renaissance period where we really can see some really, really great special talents come out of this area and really make something of themselves. All we got to do is just keep saying the right foot forward. See, so like I was saying, I believe it was on Reaper Gang Radio Monday. If we just really actually just look at everything, how it's playing out, not the bullshit that's not happening, the UFO shit, the UFO type shit, you know, the Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, those type conversations. If we just look at the hookers versus the fucking, you know, the hookers versus the Ortiz, if we look at shit like that and look at how that's playing out, if we look at how, you know, El Gallo versus Chocolatito just played out, week to week, you are getting something that you can honestly say, this is the shit that I remember. This is the shit that I grew up on. This is the reason why I love it. So when you have things like that, I try to just say, man, we stay grounded with the realities and the true possibilities of what can happen. Man, we might just be able to see some really good shit come back out of this thing, man. I'm talking like on a major scale. So I'm appreciative, man. I'm appreciative of the activity. I'm appreciative of the work rate of the fighters. I'm appreciative of what took place last night, man. I think, like I said, man, you don't put. Once you take training wheels off a kid, I'm not a firm believer of you putting them back on them. So if we're talking about this thing in the realm of if Vergil Ortiz was to fight Terrence Crawford next, oh yeah, does he give him problems? Does he trouble him? Absolutely. Does it make for a fucking fan-friendly favorite? Absolutely. Will it be one of those kind of fights that you got to respect both individuals that much more for? Absolutely. So why would I ever be opposed to something like that? I don't think any of us are. You know, hey, man, look, I think this kid's kind of honestly past the point to where he has to crawl before he can walk, because he's been crawling. You know, I think Golden Boy really has moved him along the right way, and I think that, you know, the Golden Boy DAZN kind of collaboration is we're gonna see a lot of great shit out this dude, man. Shit, I would like to. I'm honestly just excited to see what happened next, man. So, you know, I got to wrap this thing up, man. Appreciate everybody for coming through. D Jeff, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk.
No doubt.
Y'all motherfuckers go subscribe. You can go ahead and whisper your words on the people before we get up out of here.
Shit, man, boxing is back. That's all I gotta say. I hear a lot of complaints and all of that, but boxing is back, bro. We've been having good fights. I've been doing a lot of cards, you know, not just the popular fighters, but People got to pay attention, just like you said, to some of these other fighters. Not these fights that we're not gonna get. These fights that politics playing around with us. We need to watch these other fighters because boxing is here. Boxing is here, and we've been having good weekend after weekend after weekend, and next weekend gonna be fire. So, bro, boxing is back. Let's support the sport we love. Stop bickering about fights that's not gonna happen or don't look like they're gonna happen, and let's pay attention to the shit that is happening. Shout out to Mr. Two Hands, always bringing that motherfucking fire. Reaper gang, bitches. I'm out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man D Jeff, man. Sometimes it get a little spicy, man. 'Cause this dude, my brother. Like we talk on and off the motherfucking internet all the fucking time. Like so, I be arguing with this dude and on and off the computer. So it's not like I don't ever want people to get it construed with fucking like it's hate or anything like that. Me and this dude just like genuinely, I talk to him like I talk to my brother. I don't know what it means to like turn it off and try to be politically correct on, you know what I'm saying, the channel. Like I'm like, yo, that's my guy. That's my guy. Like I don't ever want anybody to think that it's malicious or a malicious intent, because that'll never be the case. But man, look, man, like the guy just said, man, boxing is fucking exciting, man. Boxing is back, man. I don't know. I'm kind of liking this little Sunday service shit, man. I think we might need to go to church, you know what I mean, a little bit more, man. Shit. We got Reaper Gang Radio tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to motherfucking Mighty Mo Hooker, man. And his fucking sound bites, as he said so eloquently. Fuck y'all. What's up? As we always say, at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. It's Reaper Game Radio Sunday Service Volume 1. Everybody in the chat, man, y'all have a motherfucking so wonderful day. Y'all already know what it is. Salute.